All right, 10.
10 grumpy people got together. Each one had one thing to add.
Two grumpy people with a top 10 mistakes to learn from our experience.
If you want to know why two grumpy people are grumpy, it's because we make a lot of mistakes.
It was hard to find the best 10 out of the 300 or so mistakes that we've made. We try to stick to the stuff that's not as popular on tip boards and message.
Yeah, we kind of assume that if you've taken the time to listen to this ridiculous home production, you're not the average viewer.
You're someone who's seeking out anything related to Disney before you go.
Alright, so the first thing on our list is going to be...
The first day that you're at Disney, don't plan to do anything. Because when you first get there, you're more than likely tired.
You're probably going to be tired. You're going to want to get your bags and stuff into your room. If you're like us, when you first get there, you're excited and stuff. What do you want to do? You want to go check out the hotel. Where is everything at? Let's go look in the gift shop. Where's the pool at? Where's the food? Usually the first thing you want to do is go get something to eat.
Yes.
And then probably watch a movie or something and go to bed. This is a really great time if you're following some of our other tips and you want to show your kids some Disney movies to prepare them for what they're going to see in the park.
Perfect time to do it.
Twilight Zone, Tower of Terror, the Haunted Mansion. These are great movies to show them before you take them on those rides.
Perfect time to break out the computer or the DVD player or the tablet and show them the movie if you hadn't already shown them before now.
And then you can go through your various checklists, make sure that you have everything ready for the next day, charge up your batteries for your camera, make sure that your camera has its batteries, its memory card, or film, depending on what kind you're taking.
Make sure you got everything for your next day. Again, this is a great time also, if you're going to do this, to go off property and go to Walmart or wherever you want to go to get some stuff for your trip.
I would definitely recommend going to some little grocery store or Walmart or something and picking up some things like a box of donuts, maybe a box of cereal, a few pieces of fruit that will keep well, and just have them in your room because at various times you may want to grab a quick meal. You may not want to go to the restaurant,
or a quick snack or
restaurant
something.
May be closed, and it's great to have something that
something at least.
Grab some granola bars and throw them in your fanny pack or your backpack to take to the park with you, because that will keep you and the kids from splurging on too many snacks in the park, which are money sucks. And even if they're not money sucks because you have a great meal plan, you may be tempted to eat a lot more junk than you really need.
So the next thing that we can go down on the list...
this one's me.
It's not me.
Ladies, good advice here. If you're going to Animal Kingdom and you think there's any chance you'll be going on Kali River Rapids,
high probability,
don't wear a dress that day. Not because you can't wear a dress on Kali River, no one's going to see up, it's not going to blow up, but because you're going to get wet. Very wet. And even if you wear a poncho or something, you're still probably going to get wet. And it's kind of difficult to change out of a sundress in a park. Wear something that, if you get soaked, it'll dry off quickly and you won't feel too exposed.
Or uncomfortable.
And a sundress is usually not a good option for that. If you bring an extra t-shirt or something that you can change into afterwards, that's a good idea.
And this one's this one's a little bit more of a doy, but some people forget about it because they're so popular and because it's Florida. Don't wear a hat on any roller coasters.
Yes, or any rides. Similar. Speedway, in Epcot. Don't wear a hat on the Speedway.
Test Track?
Or Test Track, sorry, I got that confused. Don't wear a hat on Test Track in Epcot, or on the Speedway in Magic Kingdom.
Yes.
That's two of them where people frequently lose hats and glasses.
As well, there's obvious ones like Rock and Roller Coaster.
Don't assume because it fits snugly that it will stay on your head, or even with a chin strap. Usually they won't.
And Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. You'll lose just about anything that's not strapped down.
Oh yes, definitely. Take it off. Put it in a pocket. Put it in a backpack.
Put it in that pouch they give you.
Have another friend hold it. Get a locker. Whatever you have to do, but don't.
Even a ride like Dinosaur.
Dinosaur. There's a reason they give you that mega-sized pouch in front of you. By the way, on Dinosaur, the pouch in front of you is mesh. You'll find that it catches everything: buckles, straps, belts,
zippers.
So, as a little quick piece of advice, if you have a shopping bag, you can throw everything in your shopping bag, and that's smooth and it won't tend to snag. Or you could also try wrapping it in like a blanket, a jacket or something you have. Put over it and tie it in a firm little bundle, so that when you go to get back out, you'll be able to get your stuff out without dropping half of it in the floor of the ride vehicle. And,
or taking up too much time because you're unloading while they're loading.
You don't really get much time for getting your stuff out of there, and it does have a tendency to snag up in there. And, now, I always have that the hat with me and the sunglasses.
The hat that won't fit in the bin.
The hat is so big, it takes forever to get in there, and it's hard to get back out.
And this is something, and this is good for actually more than what you marked down here, but make sure you bring a jacket or a sweater if you're going to sit down and watch Fantasmic at the end of the day.
It happened. It's one of the later shows. That's why I say it's Fantasmic.
Well, yeah.
It's like, 10, 11 o'clock
Plus,
at night.
you're just sitting there in front of the big fans of water.
Yeah. So it does tend to get really chilly there, especially at certain times of the year. So.
Yeah, and it's one of the later ones. You're just sitting there on cold benches.
I also found that I wanted a jacket in Animal Kingdom after I'd been on Cali.
River Rapids. Yes.
In Magic Kingdom, you might want it after you've been on Splash Mountain.
Or if you're staying for the late extra magic hours, you might want it then.
So if it's too bulky, and it's going to be too hot to wear it during the day, it's going to be. But if it's too bulky to carry around with you or put in your bag, whatever, those lockers are not really that expensive, and it's not. Especially if you're going to be staying for extra magical hours or Fantasmic or something. The lockers are pretty close to where Fantasmic is, so it's pretty convenient to just leave it there as you come into the park, and then when you're getting ready to go to Fantasmic, go ahead and get your stuff out of the locker.
Yeah, so it's something, and usually if you have something thin enough, that'll work great.
Yeah.
Stick it in your bag.
Yeah, just a light denim jacket or a sweater, even a hoodie. That's what I usually bring. While we're on that subject, a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll buy something in the park.
I know one time I had to buy a towel.
Yeah, I had to buy a towel. Here's the thing with buying, certain items are really, really a bad deal in the parks. The towels, which I love, but they are really overpriced in the park. T-shirts and hats all tend to be priced way more than what you would pay for the exact same item either online or downtown.
Now, what about if you have a disabled person in your party, get a wheelchair?
It may be absolutely true that you are perfectly capable of walking without a wheelchair. You are not required to sit in the wheelchair at all times. You don't have to sign anything when you get a wheelchair that says, I will sit in this at least 4 hours. You just get the wheelchair, and when you need it, use it. There's no rule that says that you have to use it all the time, or that you have to be, technically disabled. If you can't walk for 14 hours a day, don't put your party through slogging through and walk. You're going to be miserable. Your feet are going to hurt. They're going to swell up from standing on them all day. It's 85 degrees on a good day in Orlando in the parks. You probably aren't going to realize how much you're walking in. And it's very convenient to have that nice little wheelchair to put your bags and things on. And hey, it makes a convenient seat for when the parade comes by.
I know. And
you can hold your grandchild on your lap, so they have a seat too.
Yeah. And this one is kind of a hard one for some people, and this works well with, if you spend the first day at the pools. Try not to get too sunburned on that first couple days.
Yes, and that's especially true for those of us who are fair-skinned and who burn easily. One thing about a sunburn, it's not just that you have a sunburn. It will make you much more susceptible to every heat injury, and you will feel nauseous. You will become dehydrated. You won't make it in the park if you're sunburned. You're going to feel nauseous and just miserable and hot.
It will ruin almost your entire vacation.
It can really, I mean, you're spending way too much money to waste it on a sunburn. Just think about that.
You could, another one is staying at a value resort or just a hotel with a reliable, flexible shuttle option.
Yes.
Stressing the reliable and flexibility of it, because many of them are not, right. As I've learned the hard way.
One of the hotels we stayed at didn't have transportation, so you were driving if you were going to the park, which that's fine if you have your car there or you have a rental car. Sometimes that's nice to have that flexibility, but to be honest, most days it's just a huge time suck, and it's an additional cost to park, and it's just not worthwhile. Take the time to make sure the hotel you're at has transportation, so if you want to use it, you can.
And here's a big one. I'm sure there's plenty of other times that people could say this, or other situations, but the worst one, in our opinion, is never go during spring break.
Yeah, we will not do that again. Raise your right hand and swear with me. I will never go to Disney during spring break. You have never seen crowds like this. Is like going to Mecca during their high holy day. This is
cramming the entire summer vacation into 2 weeks.
There are so many people, you literally cannot move at the entrance to the park. I mean, it's that bad. You will lose members of your party trying to get from point A to point B. It's just ridiculous crowding. There's a very large number of young teens there, alone, hanging out with their friends, and you know how people can be when they hang out with their friends. So, it's a loud, boisterous, noisy. You get the college students there, who can sometimes forget that there are young children around and run off at the mouth. It's hard nowadays not to have a busy time. There used to be, traditional times when it was really slow, but they've done such a good job with coming up with new activities and new interesting things to do in the parks
events, that
even those times are now busy times.
And with more flexible schools nowadays.
You have gay pride days, which is not their thing, but other people's thing, but it's a day, so you're going to have a lot of busyness from that. They have the marathons that they run. They have golfing events that they run that bring crowds. Of course, the Christmas holidays, wonderful but busy. We have Food and Wine Festival, which is very busy. The Garden Festival. So all these things, of course, that's the point for Disney, is to bring people during times that would otherwise be slow periods. But as a result, there's almost no time that is really an off time anymore. But spring break is probably the busiest time ever, and it's not really a good time to be in the park. Okay, so what's the next one on the list?
Well, let's see here. 4, 5,
that's
7,
10.
8, 9, 10.
So, count them down real quick. Don't make reservations for your first day in the park. Don't wear a dress on Kali River Rapids, or bring a dry shirt or towel, something of that nature. Don't wear a hat on roller coasters or similar type rides, or anything that can fall off and get lost. Bring a jacket or sweater for Fantasmic or other nighttime events. Don't buy your hats, t-shirts, and towels in the park. They're very expensive, and they're available elsewhere for half the price. If you are a disabled person, do not feel bad about getting a wheelchair. Make everyone in your party happier and enjoy your vacation. You paid for it. Try not to get sunburnt on that first day, on your first day in the park, because it will totally ruin the rest of your vacation. Stay at a value resort or at a hotel with reliable, flexible shuttle service. You'll thank yourself. You'll feel less stressed because you're not wasting money and you have convenient transportation that's reliable. And use a city bus and make a shopping trip in town on your first or second day. You'll save lots of money. You'll have an opportunity to pick up the things that you would find difficult to find or expensive in the resorts.
Or things you forgot from home.
And those things you inevitably have forgot to pack, whether it be your flip-flops or your suntan lotion. And most importantly of all, drum roll please, never go to Disney during spring break.
Alright, that'll do it for that today's top 10 list. Stay tuned for next week when we talk about something else.